This is a true story.
About me, Brian. Some people like to say I play poker for a living. I like to think of my job as reading people's body language for a living. I've made more money bluffing people who are trying to bluff me than any job could ever dream of paying me. I started when I was 16, and from the very first time, I knew this was going to be my career choice. At 21, I quit a $23 an hour job, moved to Vegas across the country where I didn't know anyone, and started my life over. Never looked back, and I'm 34 now, ready to start vlogging, sharing some secrets, sharing some tips. Maybe we'll have some laughs on the way. And this first month of poker vlogging is going to basically involve me playing at the Orleans exclusively, their tournament poker. I'm going to be trying to win Poker Player of the Month, which means whoever wins the most tournament money will win the poker bonus money at the end. So let's get into some hands. If you have any comments about how I might be able to play better, please leave them. If you have any questions about some of the commentary, please ask. And if you enjoy the video, maybe throw the like button up or the subscribe, or maybe even share it with someone else you might think will enjoy it. Appreciate you all hanging out.
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, a simple wrong would have done just fine, but
Alright, the first hand we're going to show is on the button. Blinds are 100, 100. It's level 1. We get King of Spades, 6 of Clubs, and we're going to go ahead and raise it to 400. Everyone's folded to me. I figure easy spot to steal. And the small blind calls. Big blind folds. And we go to a flop of King 7, 6. This flop is amazing. It's actually so good that when the small blind checks, I go ahead and check behind, because I figure, there's not many things that I'm going to lose to, small blind versus my hand. So I let him get a free turn, and it's a horrible card. It's a 7. So now there's 2 7s out there. My King 6 is counterfeited. I have to get some money in this pot, though. So I bet 700. He calls pretty quickly, and we go to a river, and it's another bad card. It's an ace. So now a hand like a single king will just chop with me. We'd both have kings and sevens with an ace. But even worse, he called all the way down with an ace queen, and now he hits his ace on the river, and he wins.
All right, it's level 2. Blinds are 100, 200. I'm in the hijack, so I have the second best position, just right of the button. And when everyone folds around, speaking of hijack, I got pocket jacks. So I go pretty big here, and I go 10 big blinds. I want to get rid of any weak aces, which I think is going to work, but the small blind calls, and we go to a flop of ace 7, 7. When he checks to me, I feel like I have to continuation bet. He seems weak, so I do 2200. He quickly folds, and I quickly win. All right, it's still level 2, blinds 100, 200. I'm in middle position with an ace 10 offsuit, and I raise to 1000. Big blind calls. It's a female. We're heads up. I assume she's a pretty tight player. Flop comes out, ace of clubs, 9 of hearts, 6 of hearts. I do have the ace of hearts, and when she checks, I bet 1600. She doesn't seem to have any problem calling here. Pretty easily call. So it's vibe kind of feels like a flush draw so far. Now, the turn comes the 3 of hearts. And I notice that her eyes check her chips. So she looks down at her chip stack. Then she checks. Now this to me means she wanted to bet. So I think she likes the hearts. I think she's got a flush. I think she's trying to trap. I check behind. And we go to a river. Deuce of spades on the river. She checks again. I feel like an ace could be the best hand here, but that chick, the way she checked her chips, it feels like she's definitely got the flush. I wish there would have just been a heart here, and we could have taken all her chips pretty easily, I'm sure. So I check behind. She shows queen 10 of hearts. I show her my ace of hearts as I fold.
Card.
You know Wooderson?
Oh.
How's it going, man?
Hey. Pretty good. How's it going with you?
Say, man, you got a joint?
No, not on me, man.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
All right, we're at 200, 400, and this is where it starts to get tough. We don't have a lot of chips. We're in the hijack though, and everyone folds to us. We look down at pocket kings. Now, easy fucking game. I raise, of course. I'll make it 1100. The guy on the button, he calls before I can even blink. This guy is he's my new friend. So, small blind, big blind fold, and we go to a flop. We got about 3,200 in the pot now. Flop comes low, jack high. I go all in, and he starts to think. Got about 5,700 out there. When he starts to think, I know I'm way ahead. He, of course, tank folds. We look at our kings, we smile, we move on. Now, less than a couple minutes go by. I look down at pocket kings again, and I see the same guy on my left trying to raise, so I just limp, and I'm a little nervous, so I throw out the wrong amount. Well, they're actually announcing it's 300, 600, so I tried to put out 400, then I tried to put out 600, then dealer says it's 400, so we get the situation. We try to cool it down a little. The table folds around. I only have like 8,700 left, so you know this is a pretty easy decision. I'm gonna go all in. I double check to make sure I still got those kings, and I'm not just dreaming. I put it all in, and when he asks for a count, I know I'm way ahead. Good news, boys. He pulls out quite a monster when he calls here. He pulls out the good old Jack 8 offsuit. It's a big sweat. Now let me tell you, this board runs out. 4, 4, 4, deuce, deuce. So, pretty easy money. I'll take it. I'll take it. We'll take that all day.
Can we get some players over here? I'm tired of knocking out empty seats.
Oh, my man, I love his confidence.
No, I'm not tired of it. Send in the next donkey.
You get tired of it, Ryan? We're playing a shootout. You just have to win your table.
Yes!
Level 8, the blinds are 600, 1,200 with a 1,200 ante. I'm on the button. I figured I'd show you something different besides 2 black kings. So we're on the button. We look down after someone's limped under the gun. And I have pocket kings. What do you know? I raise it to 5,000. Person under the gun thinks for a few seconds. They decide to go all in for 25,000. I don't take much time to think about this one. Get it all in for sure. They show Queen Jack offsuit. They got a monster. And let me tell you, this board is scary. 10, 10, 6, 5, deuce. We crush him.
All right, same level, the very next button. I'm gonna go ahead and look down at another monster. Well, actually, it's quite the opposite. It's 7 deuce offsuit, and I decide I want to play it. We're not afraid. I make it 2,500, and I get called by the big blind. He's a pretty tight player. Flop comes random, no face cards, but no 7, no deuce, no straight draw. He checks. I bet 3,500. He calls. And we go to a turn where, again, I don't improve whatsoever. I didn't even write any notes. It was so bad. And I bet 10,000 this time after he checks. He goes into the tank, actually, and gets me sweating for a little bit, but he does fold.
Maybe I raised with kings 7 times, you just didn't get to see him.
Wednesdays, I'll read your book. Wednesdays, not today. Today's I like this banter. It's nice.
All right, just a moment or two later, we get into this hand where we have pocket 8s under the gun. Blinds are 600, 1,200, 1200. And after I've limped, we get 2 more people in late position, the guy on my left and the guy across the table, and then also the small blind, big blind. We go to a flop of king 8 rag, and I check. Player on my left bets 4,500. Player across the table calls, and the 2 blinds fold. I take a raise to 22,000. The man on my left folds, and the 2-seat takes 30 seconds or so and puts.
He's gonna put it all in. That's gonna be a call. Oh, that's probably winning.
Quad eights? Is that quad eights? I think I went with quad eights.
Yep, he did it again, right? He said he was tired of it, but we both believe that was a lie. I checked the results during commercial break.
All right, remember, this is a true story, so I did record so much this night that I actually ran out of room on recording. So I just have the notes on a couple of these hands. We're going to talk about them, though, the last few important ones. And while we're doing this, I'm just going to show a few some camera footage from my phone that I've taken over the years, just me and my friends, what we do on the weekends when we're bored. So this is my other part of my true life story that you'll watch, while we talk about the rest of these poker hands. So on these hands, we're going to have, first, I'll give you a little bit of background information. Coming back from a break, the blinds are 3,000, 6,000 with a 6,000 ante. It's level 13. The average stack is 123K. There's 29 left. We're paying 29. So we just made it into the money. The button
I can tell you from
makes it 22,000.
Really intense,
I jam on the big blind, pocket eights.
totally
He tanks, folds, and tells me he folds ace king. Now, this is the player 2 to my right. I kind of believe him when he says he folded ace king. So
and let's go get tons of fuel and go here.
What planet the fuck are you from?
it's level 14. It's 162,000 average chips. There's 22 players left. Blinds are 4,000, 8,000 with an 8,000 ante. I have 185, so about 20,000 more than the average. And the same player, 2 to my right, he bets 33,000. Remember, big blind is 8, so this time he's making it four times the big blind, basically. I am on the button. I have ace king. Go in the tank. I haven't committed any chips yet. This guy's bet 4 big blinds. I get a feeling, the way he's looking around, looking like he wants that action. His eyes are kind of scattering around the table, like he's kind of trying to read everyone. Feels like he's really paying attention to the hand. He's not just like throwing out a raise and diddle-daddling with his phone. So I just get rid of ace king here. I don't want to be up against a hand like queens or kings. And what if he has kings and we flop a king and then I just lose my stack to him because he has a set and I have top pair. So I just get out of the way. And because I tank folded, he decides to show me, and he shows me pocket queens. So we were in a coin flip, and it could have been a huge pot, but does he even really pay me if an ace or king comes out? Probably not. So I think we just save chips there. Next hand we want to talk about, we got the level 15, 220,000 chips I have, and the 210,000 average, some 10K above average. There's 17 players left. Player that I haven't really gotten into any hands with and haven't even really seen play any hands decides he's under the gun at the worst position and he's going to go all in for 211,000. This is not a short stack all in. It's an average stack. Average is 220. He has a 211. It's basically right there. I'm on the button. Everyone folds to me, and I look down at pocket queens. I have him barely covered, and I just his comfortability level looks to me like he's comfortable. Kind of gives me a vibe like he looked down at aces, didn't want to raise it too little, didn't know how much he should raise it, and decided just to jam a stack, didn't realizing how much he actually had there. So thinking that I might be up against a better hand. And you know what? Even if I'm not, what if he just has, you know, a naked ace, or what if he has a naked king, or just any hand could end up spiking, you know, ace king, ace jack, ace 10. What if he has king queen, king jack? Any of these hands could spike one pair and beat me. All I have is one pair. So after a lot of deliberation, I just don't think I want to get it in with one pair, risking 90% of my stack. I think I can just keep out playing people with taking small pots over and over. So I fold queens on the button. Don't commit a single chip. So those are some crazy folds. Queens and ace king on the button. And we're going to talk about one last hand. And this is in level 16, the next level. The blinds are 8,000, 16,000 with 16,000 ante. The average is 325,000. There's 11 players left. And I have 190,000 chips. The player on my left is under the gun. I'm the big blind. Player on my left limps, and the whole table limps. We have a family pot going. So this pot is massive. This is the first family limp I've seen the entire night. Okay? We're in level 16. It is late. It's like 3 in the morning. We've been playing for hours. This doesn't happen. And when the blinds are this big, this is now a massive pot. I have Jack 6 offsuit. I check my big blind option. We go to a flop. Jack 8 3. I check under the gun though on my left as bet. He bets 100,000. Folds around, and I have top pair, weak kicker. This is the one player at the table I was probably worried about going into this hand, because, you know, he played under the gun limping, which usually is the sign of a trap. Like he's coming in strong, waiting for someone to raise. He wants to re-raise. But after some deliberation, he doesn't seem to be too comfortable with the fact that I'm taking my time on even this decision. And the longer I'm taking, the more uncomfortable he starts to look. So I go all in for 155,000. Then, best thing that could happen, he asks for a count. He's bet 100,000 and now wants to know how much I have left. So I'm starting to smile, and I even tell him, hey, you know you're asking for a count, that means I have the best hand? And he goes, yeah, I know. Damn. Alright, I'm gonna call. I have nothing. He shows me ace 4 of diamonds.
So he can catch the backdoor flush draw with running diamonds. He can catch a deuce 5 for a runner wheel draw. He can also catch any ace or any running 4s, and those are his outs, but we run good and fade them all and win with one pair.
So we played 9 ways for a little bit. I got some chips up, and we decided to go ahead and chop. It was a tough spot to be in. I didn't really want to chop 9-handed, but because we could only play 8 players max, I was in a situation where it was 4-handed. We were losing 50,000 per rotation, so every 4 hands losing 50,000, and average stack was like 350K. So it was a lot of luck-based poker going on, you know, and people were starting to jam on me pretty light with all the raising I'd been doing. So, you know, busting 9th was hundreds of dollars, and we could even chop for 1,800, but we did a chip chop where the people with more chips got more money, the people with less chips got less money, and I got 2,100. So, good win. We've got 2 wins in a row. It's a really good way to start. A tournament grind is winning. Gives you tons of morale. Thanks for watching, and if you stuck around this long, Really appreciate a like or subscribe or share to maybe someone else that you might think will have enjoyed the video. And this is only the third vlog, so there'll be some more. I'll get better at editing. We'll try to get better camera angles, and we'll have some fun and learn some stuff.